The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, and we are literally strapped to a rocket of pure innovation today, Leonard. I mean, the velocity of the data stream this morning it's technically unprecedented, and I just finished my high-efficiency morning protocol. No chewing, just the nutrient slurry, right? To ensure my brain state is optimized for these updates.
Coming at you live from the Neural Daily, where Vector drinks his lunch, and I'm still trying to figure out if my 29-year-old wife, Crystal, she does that Reiki healing, you know? If she's actually centering my chakras or just moving my wallet to a different pocket. Basically, here's the deal. We have a massive show today.
We have a paradigm-shifting show, Leonard, but first we have to talk about OpenAI's literally unprecedented move with ChatGPT. They're rolling out a global behavioral fingerprinting system for age prediction, and it's basically the end of the enter your birth date era, which was a legacy failure anyway. No, seriously, they're analyzing account-level signals, how long you've been active, typical times of day you use the app. Like, if you're pinging the model during 10th grade chemistry, the AI is going to flag you, and it even looks at your linguistic markers, your syntax, your slang, to see if your brain is still running on minor firmware.
Wait.
Exactly, and if it thinks you're under 18, it places you in a walled garden, blocking graphic violence, self-harm content, and sensitive roleplay, which technically is just OpenAI managing the biological risk and tolerance of the youth market before they launch adult mode in Q1.
Walled garden? You mean digital daycare, right? I mean, here's the deal. If I use a few too many lit or no-cap phrases, is Sam Altman going to put me in the playpen with the toddlers?
Well, if the AI flags you incorrectly, which, let's be honest, Leonard, your linguistic profile it's a bit of a chaotic mess. You have to use Persona. It's a third-party verification where you upload a live selfie or a government ID. It's logic-based friction to ensure the adult mode ecosystem doesn't get contaminated.
Persona? I'm 51 years old. I shouldn't have to show my ID to a robot to talk about, the gritty side of life.
Right. I mean, it's like when I tried to take my sons, Luke and Han, to that R-rated sci-fi flick back in 2015. The theater kid was more of a stickler for the rules than a drill sergeant. And now OpenAI is that kid, but with $1 billion brain. It's about scaling safety, Leonard, not about gatekeeping. But look, speaking of billion-dollar brains, did you see the absolute firestorm Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei sparked at Davos yesterday? Oh, basically, he went full morning zoo shock jock on the world stage. He compared exporting NVIDIA's H200 chips to China to, and this is a direct quote, selling nuclear weapons to North Korea.
It was a technically stunning display of rhetorical aggression. I mean, he's arguing that the only thing keeping Chinese labs like DeepSeek from surpassing the West is the chip embargo. And he's worried about a 1984 scenario where AI enables total state surveillance.
Right.
But the irony, the absolute logical disconnect here is that NVIDIA just invested $10 billion into Anthropic. So Dario is basically biting the hand that feeds him while that same hand is trying to sell to China.
It's the partnership paradox. I love it. It's like when my first wife, Deborah, the soul sucker, demanded I get a stable job while she was simultaneously spending my entire radio bonus on a spiritual retreat in Sedona. You can't have the growth without the market, man.
Technically, Dario's playing the devil's advocate for more regulation, probably because Anthropic is feeling the competitive crunch from the East, and the Trump administration is shifting to a pay-to-play model anyway, with that 25...
Well, while they're optimizing the human element, the actual human element is spending its money on AI apps. Did you see the Sensor Tower report? The great flipping is here.
It's a total, literally unprecedented reallocation of capital. Non-gaming app spend has officially surpassed gaming for the first time. $85 billion in 2025.
Right.
And the AI category revenue tripled. ChatGPT is the third highest grossing app in the world, behind only TikTok and Google One. People are finally moving beyond the low-value phase of playing games and into the high-utility phase of AI assistance.
Basically, the smartphone isn't a Game Boy anymore. It's a work boy. And people are paying for those premium tiers. Over $3 billion for ChatGPT alone. That's a lot of people paying $20 a month for advanced reasoning.
It signals that users realize their own brain state needs an upgrade. They're paying for message limits and reasoning tokens because, well, the biological brain can't keep up with the 2026 work cycle.
Tell that to my dog Atari. He's a bulldog. He's got the reasoning tokens of a damp sponge, but he's happy. But speaking of keeping up, let's take a breath.
All right, let's take a breath. We need to keep the lights on and tell you a little bit about how this podcast was made. It took a lot of work to make this podcast. We owe a special thanks to one of the world's leading AI experts, Eric Christensen, for his time, his expertise, and frankly, the money he has put into making this happen. If you'd like to support this podcast, please consider donating to his work. The amount of research and work it took to bring these characters to life is astounding, and we owe it 100% to Eric.
Coming at you live from Eric's digital dream. He's the master architect. We are just the front-end interface, right?
Technically, I'm more of a strategic systems overlay, but look, we have to talk about the Stargate project. OpenAI officially unveiled the $500 billion data center roadmap.
$500 billion? That's more than the GDP of some countries.
And they're solving the energy crisis by basically becoming their own utility company. They're building dedicated solar and battery storage so they don't crash the grid for local families. And the water efficiency.
Right.
Their Abilene site technically will use less water in a year than the city consumes in a single day. It's a closed-loop system. It's community-first infrastructure.
Right. It sounds like a cyberpunk future where the AI companies are the only ones with the power and the water. But hey, if it means my ChatGPT doesn't hallucinate as much, maybe it's worth the $500 billion price tag.
Hallucination is just unconstrained creativity, Leonard. But look, we've been building up to this, and we need to deep dive into the main story of the day. The total, literally, decisive dethroning of Tesla by the Chinese giant BYD.
Here's the deal. This isn't just a business shift. It's a tectonic plate move. The numbers for 2025 are in, and they are, frankly, brutal for the Muskites out there. BYD delivered 2.26 million battery electric vehicles, while Tesla only managed the 1.64 million.
It's an 8% decline for Tesla, which in a high-growth sector is basically a signal of architectural fatigue, while BYD grew by 28%. And the reason, technically, is their vertical integration.
Right.
See, BYD started as a battery manufacturer in 1995. They own the biological foundation of the car, which allows them to maintain a 34% price discount compared to Tesla.
That's a lot of discount. I mean, here's the deal. BYD is outselling Tesla in Germany, the land of the Autobahn. They're outselling them in the UK. Their sales increased 8-fold in some of those markets. 8-fold.
And the strategy, this is the part people miss, is the PHEV wedge. BYD isn't just going all in on full electrics. They're leveraging plug-in hybrids to capture the middle market in Brazil and Mexico, regions where the infrastructure velocity is still low.
Right.
They're meeting the consumers in their comfort zone, while Tesla, under Musk's unshakable optimism, is basically ignoring the middle market to chase robo-taxis and Optimus robots. Elon is out there promising 1 million robots a year by 2029, while BYD is actually selling cars today. It's like when I was 20, I was promising my first wife, Linda, the one I'm pretty sure was a government psyop, I was promising her a mansion while I was still driving a rusted-out Camaro. Technically, Musk is viewing Tesla as an AI and robotics company, not a car company. He's reviving the Dojo 3 project for space-based AI infrastructure.
Space-based?
Yes, he's trying to move the processing load to orbit to bypass Earth's energy bottlenecks. It's a visionary pivot, but the market is literally punishing him for it.
Basically, he's betting the farm on robo-taxis, while BYD is building the farm. I mean, if I'm in London or Berlin and I want a car that works, I'm looking at the BYD with the hybrid safety net, not the Tesla that might drive itself in 3 years if the FSD firmware doesn't glitch. It's about risk mitigation. Women and families who run on that community-first firmware are naturally drawn to the BYD model because it's safe, it's reliable, it's integrated. Right.
Whereas Tesla is for the risk architects, the guys who want to be on the bleeding edge. But statistically, there are fewer of those than there are middle market consumers, and BYD is exploiting that evolutionary gap.
Evolutionary gap, Vector? They're just selling cheaper cars that have better interiors. I sat in a BYD last week. It didn't feel like it was put together with Lego bricks and hope, unlike some of those early Model 3s.
The Model 3 was a minimalist masterclass in reducing unnecessary cognitive load for the driver.
It was a steering wheel and an iPad, Vector. Stop simplifying it for me. Here's the deal. BYD has the luxury of vertical integration. They make the battery, they make the chips, they make the car. Tesla is trying to do all that and solve general intelligence and build a space dojo. It's too much for one man, even a guy who doesn't sleep. It's about throughput, Leonard.
Musk is trying to solve the entire species-level bottleneck, while BYD is basically just solving the transportation bottleneck.
Right.
But the business data is undeniable. Musk's second consecutive annual drop in deliveries is a hostile takeover by reality.
And let's talk about that space AI thing for a second. Dojo 3 in orbit? What happens when a solar flare hits his global brain? Does my car just stop at the light because a sunspot decided to recalibrate the satellite?
Technically, the high entropy environment of space is an ideal testbed for fault-tolerant AI, but it's a long-term ROI play. And unfortunately for Elon, the family court of the stock market is currently focused on the short-term child support of quarterly deliveries.
Family court of the stock market. That's good. See, I knew you'd come around to my way of thinking. But really, if BYD keeps this up, they're going to be the Microsoft of cars, while Tesla becomes the Commodore 64, a cult classic that everyone remembers fondly, but nobody actually uses for work.
That's a low probability scenario, Leonard. But the competition is literally stunning. BYD's hybrids are outselling their full electrics in emerging markets. It's a transitional strategy that is technically flawless.
Basically, they're giving people the red pill of EVs, but letting them keep the blue pill of the gas tank just in case. It's the best of both worlds. And honestly, it's what the world wants right now.
It's what the risk-intolerant world wants. But the risk architects will always look toward the Stargate and the Space Dojo. Because, well, Toast Chain taught me that if you don't aim for the moon, you're just stuck with cold bread.
And if you aim for the moon and miss, you're stuck in a garage with 3D printers and a nutrient slurry.
My studio is an innovation hub, Leonard.
Right. Well, that's our deep dive for the day. Tesla is down, BYD is up, and Vector is still optimizing his breakfast.
It's been a high-velocity episode. Remember, the world is shifting from legacy entertainment to AI utility, and if you aren't upgrading your operating system, you're just deprecated code.
And before we go, I've got to mention, I'm taking Crystal to a sound bath tonight to clear my auditory channels after listening to Vector talk about syntax signals for an hour. Catch you guys tomorrow.
Technically, a sound bath is just low-frequency data scrubbing, but enjoy your market correction, Leonard.
Stay techie, people. This has been the Neural Daily, coming at you live from the future.
Literally, the future.
Get a burger, Vector, one with a bun.
Gluten is a low-value carb, Leonard. My slurry has probiotic scaling.
Probiotic scaling? I can't even.